This tutorial video is for users of the free diagram that want to add a client license to share their free diagram with another user, for example, a coach. So once you have created an account with Family Diagram and you've got the app going and you can edit your diagram, you'll be able to purchase the client license for one-time fee of $19.99, and then you'll be able to share that free diagram with any user, like a coach, and that license will never expire. So I'm just starting from the beginning here, in case you're a user who's been asked or suggested from your coach to go and get this app so that you can share your diagram, or just so you can set up your own diagram, which of course is ideal. So I'm going to enter in an email address here to set up an account, because the free diagram is stored on the server, and so an account is required always to use the app. So this is going to say an email was sent with instructions for how to change your password. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to check my email, which is going to have this email address in it, or this email in it. I'm going to say, yeah, it looks safe. Check your spam if it doesn't show up in your inbox, but you're going to get something that looks like this. It's going to have your email address there. It's going to have this code. I'm going to copy this code with Command C for copy on Mac, or Control C to copy on Windows. And then I'm going to go click here for under the enter code box. I'm going to do Command V to paste on Mac, or Control V on Windows, and I'm going to click Next. So that verifies that the email address is a real email address. I'm going to go enter in some information in here and click a new password, and that's all the information that's stored under the account. So now I'm going to get this box. It says you're now using the free license. You have access to a single diagram. So that means that the diagram is going to be stored on the server, and you can just get going actually from here. So I'm going to click OK. And then to close this, it says just click close to use a free version, right? So now I can go and start adding people in and editing a diagram, and I get this one free diagram, and it's up here. It says it's stored on the server. You get the name of the diagram along with server in parentheses. That means it's actually stored on the server. So let's just add in some things here. This is not a tutorial on how to edit the diagram. There are other videos for that. But what I can do now, if I want to share this diagram with another user, like my coach, then I want to go here and add them to this box here. If I click Diagram Settings, this gear, it's going to open up this side panel, and if I scroll down to the bottom, it's going to show server settings at the bottom, and it says client or pro license required. So this is a disabled box right now, and this is where you would add in the email of your coach who has a professional license already, to give them access to your diagram so that you can make edits, or that so that they can just see your diagram without making edits. You get to choose. But it is disabled because it requires a client or a pro license. So the client license is the cheap route. That's if you're a client, for example, just being coached by a Bowen coach, and you just want to pay a $20 fee once so that you can share that diagram forever with one user. And you can change the user down the road if you want, change coaches or whatever it is. So you go up here to buy this client license. You go up here and click the cart box, which gets you to the account management screen here. And there's a few buttons on the bottom. The close button brings you back to the diagram. Okay, so I'll click this again to go back to the account management screen. The logout button logs you out. We don't need to do that. The account button switches between this view with the available licenses and whatever licenses you've got already. And you don't have any here because this is a free user so far. And so I'm going to click purchase to go back to that other screen. So that's all this button down here at the bottom does. It just gets you between these two screens. Now, there's 3 licenses. There are the 2 professional licenses, which are subscription licenses that are renewed over time. And that's what allows you to edit multiple diagrams. But if you're just a client and you just want to share your diagram with one other professional user, like a coach, you want to buy this client license. You don't need this license to edit one diagram. You do get one free diagram as a free user. And this is the diagram that I was just editing a second ago. And I can do that as long as I like for free, so that anyone can do their own family and their own effort at differentiation of self or family research in their own family for free. But if you want to share it, you have to buy this client license. And it's so $20. So you just click purchase, and then you add in your credit card information. Now I'm going to pause the video because I'm not actually, just for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to enter a credit card, but I am going to create one for myself and add the complimentary license by key, and then I'll start the video again where I left off. So I'm picking where I left off just previously. I've created client license. I'm going to just enter that in here. And then it's going to say, if you filled out the credit card information, then it will say the license has been added to your account, and then it goes back to your diagram. So now you can keep editing, do as you like here, but you'll have the ability to share this diagram with one other user. So you do that by clicking this gear icon here, which opens and closes the diagram settings. You go down here, and now this server settings for diagram box is enabled. So now I can add in the email address for a user that already has the professional license. So as a free diagram, you can't share it with a user who's also using the app for free, because they don't have the other view that is required, that's enabled by the professional license and required to view different diagrams shared from different people. That's another feature set that's not available here under the free license. But you can enter the email for somebody with a professional subscription. And all you do is you type in their email address, and then as the app finds a user with that email, then the box turns green. So notice when I remove a few characters, this isn't a valid email address for a user anymore. And now when I type in some, then it goes from red to green. So just click the plus button, and then it's going to add them here. So this is the list of people that can view your diagram. A client license only allows one person to view a diagram. So if I try to add in more here, it won't let me. But it does give you a box that allows you to choose whether that other person you're sharing it with, like your coach, can only view the diagram, that would be the read-only access here, or can view and edit, which would be read-write access, the diagram. So I'm just going to leave it as read-only here for now, and I'm going to close this. And then for demonstration purposes, I'm going to log out. Are you sure we want to log out? Yes, that's right. Of that free user. And then I'm going to log back in as the user I just shared it with, just to show what it would look like on the other end. So this is the user with a professional license. They've got lots and lots of licenses here. So they can go now and see this free diagram that was shared with that free user, info@alaskafamilysystems.com, that was just created. So that means that they will be able to go and read it or open it up, and then if they try to make edits, they won't be able to. All of these boxes will be disabled. They won't be able to drag people around because they have read-only access to this diagram. So if we want to set so this user can edit the diagram, then we've got to jump back to the free user. So this is what you would do. That's going to give this reminder here that you're using the free license. It's going to open up the free diagram. And then if I go down here and change this to read write, that other professional user will be able to make changes. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Just to reiterate, you can only add one user, one professional user to share it with, because that's what the $19.99 client license gets you. That doesn't expire. It works forever. It's so that you as the client can begin sharing the information that you enter into your diagram with your coach, and vice versa. So if they're entering information during your sessions, for example, then you will be able to see that as well. Now, there is one caveat for this that you will need to pay attention to, as well as your coach will need to pay attention to. This file sharing feature doesn't update the diagram in real time when edits are made by the other person. So in Google Docs, for example, when you're both editing a Word file and you start adding people and moving things around like this, it actually updates the diagram on the other end in real time. So that is not a feature that's supported here. That means that you have to add a little bit of consideration about making changes and overriding the other person's changes. Every time you open the app, it will automatically update your diagram to the latest version on the server. So that's one thing you can do, is just close the app, and before you make any changes, just open it up again. And the coach, or the person with the professional version, will need to do the same. And they should know that as the professional. So again, just close and reopen the app, and then it will automatically download the latest changes, and so you won't be overriding those changes made by the other person. Another thing you can do is just periodically go to File and click Refresh Server. That will do the same thing. It will just go to the server and check if any changes have been made. If it finds changes that have been made, it will automatically update the diagram to match what's on the server. That means you'll lose any changes that you'd made since the last refresh. So the way that you work around this, you just always refresh it before you make changes. That's all you have to do. Or close and open the app, and it will automatically update the diagram before it opens it for you. You do have to be online to be able to save changes, because the free diagram is saved on the server. But that's it. And as long as you follow that practice, you should be good to go. So good luck with your coaching, with your own effort at differentiation of self, and the family research that can go into that. And I hope that you have success using Family Diagram.